The management has informed me that because there is another screening coming in, we've only got time for one quick question and answer before we have to ask you guys to go out.
I would like that guy because
Yossi,
he felt he was.
Step up.
Well, you can
He served.
Yes.
where I'm coming from. So, Yossi, Israel. Okay. First, I want to thank you and let you know there are some Israelis that do appreciate somebody like you. Maybe the number is not big, but they do exist. I think you did mention B'Tselem. There are other groups, some Israelis, reservist soldiers, they give testimony to Goldstone.
Yeah, the Breaking the Silence group.
Okay. Why I'm saying is because I'm looking in the U.S. press and the Israeli press in Hebrew, and I saw what is the Achilles heels in the Jewish community in Israel is the Goldstone Report and human rights. They're having really a hard time to deal with this.
Totally agree.
So I know it's focused. However, it doesn't reflect in the U.S. Congress, and here is my questions. In all your going to speak, did you ever met with any U.S. politician on the Congress level, on the Senate at least, to have some kind of a reasonable discussion?
Honestly, no. There are people who have. But I think our challenge now, a friend of mine is a very shrewd political analyst, he said the challenge now is to the left of J Street and to the right of the cultists. There's this huge area of people. I suspect most of the people in this room fit there. And they're waiting to be mobilized. And what we need to do is to create a lobby to the left of J Street, but to the right of those who are, in my opinion, are cultists. And there's a huge sector of the population, I think, that's ready to join in one way or another. Not everyone's going to be active as a lobbyist, but, contributing money, being part of the organization. And I think that's our main challenge now. And I think that could have an impact in Congress because I think it's a large group of people. It's not trivial anymore. It is not. And I think that that's one of our challenges, in the foreseeable future. I would also, I don't like to sing the praises of Israel Israelis because it's very misleading sometimes. There was over 90% of Israelis who support the massacre in Gaza. And even 3 months later, when the polls were taken, 66% said they think it should have gone on longer until Hamas was deposed. It's not a pretty picture at all. But it's also true, the marches now in East Jerusalem, Israeli Jews, women in particular, are playing a major role, and that's extremely encouraging. It's very exciting.
There were 3,000 of them.
Yeah, well, they estimate 5,000. About 5,000 Israelis and Palestinians, and there are prominently in the leadership young women, many Israeli, and that's very encouraging. And we should be, very hopeful about that. There's reason.
During the war in Gaza, there were demonstrations in Tel Aviv of 10,000.
Yeah, but the demonstrations, again, we want to be absolutely accurate. The demonstrations were overwhelmingly Palestinian Israelis. It was a very small showing by Israelis. I read it.
I was there. There was a lot of Israelis standing there and opposing the occupation. But there's not enough Israelis to oppose the army for its whole occupation of the West Bank and the Gaza Strip.
I want to ask you guys to tell your friends to come and see this movie. It's playing here for the week. Also, if you'd like to get copies of the DVD, you can get them at the Levantine Center, levantine.org. And I also want to thank the LA Jews for Peace, LAJewsforPeace.org, and thank especially Norman Finkelstein for being here.